Okay, this video is going to be all kinds of fucked up. So, I hope you're sitting down. This one's definitely going to go on my website later. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is what you deal with when you have parasites in your life. So, I'm just going to start with... I'm not going to start with that. I'll come back to that. This Facebook link is a girl that was on the property, and I knew she was messed up, but oh my god, this takes the cake. Okay. This takes the cake. I mean, I talked about it in previous videos where she was kind of crazy and fucked up, and how she was accusing people on the land of doing some crazy shit that I was like, I don't think they're really doing that stuff. And she didn't present any evidence, and I was like, you don't have any proof, so I'm just like, I'll take it with a grain of salt, and it's a good thing I did, because she was messed up. Now, this video happened before I met her, so we'll come back to that. We're focusing on Judas right now, David Ray. We'll go back to here when he was kissing my ass. He's trying to make himself look good. So basically what it boils down to is he's just a parasite. I found out some other information today. I promised I wouldn't name names, so I'm not going to do that. But I guess a lot of people have known how David Ray was. But nobody really said anything to me. They just been dropping hints. And, this is back in February, okay. My mother and her boyfriend are really the only ones who, have been saying anything. And they started saying something about 6 months to a year ago. I started noticing stuff, I'd say, after I started buying the land in 2015, but it didn't really dawn on me until 2018. That's when I really started waking up, and it really started getting bad, or started escalating in 2019, and it's basically only gotten worse since then. Sarah, Elizabeth, basically all of them were on the land around 2019. And that was when pretty much things started going downhill. So March 4th, and like I said, I've been slowly picking up on things, but I'm kind of naive, kind of blind to things. And a friend of mine told me today that I guess David Ray's brainwashed me, because he's been trying. They said that he's been trying to degrade me because he's jealous of me, which probably is true. I don't know. Because trying to sabotage me because he's jealous of me. And I don't know how much of that is true, but I can see that there's a potential there. Potential jealousy type of situation. Because a lot of women, and he does kind of act like a woman, a lot of women will sabotage other women that they're jealous of and try to bring them down. Women are trifling, when it comes to stuff like that. If the other woman's got a better job, if the other woman's got a better man, or better anything, they'll basically do whatever they can. Not all women, but a lot of women will do whatever they can to bring that other woman down. because how dare you be above me? You know, it's kind of like it goes back to that whole crab in a bucket thing. Humans are like crabs. Most humans are like crabs. Every time a crab, every time a crab tries to get out of the bucket or the box, whatever, you can have a store and have a box full of crabs sitting out unattended, and the crabs will never get out because every time a crab tries to escape, another crab will pull it back in the box. And that's exactly the way humans are, unfortunately, most of us. So, March 4th, I think it was, is when I came home to the dead goats. And I was really pissed off. But I wasn't as pissed off until David Ray tried to turn around and blame me for it. That was pretty much my last straw. Now, I didn't really say anything about it at the time. It kind of festered, and I let it boil up. But basically, he's been sabotaging me. He's been backbiting. He's been backstabbing. He's been talking trash on me, doing all kinds of stuff. And basically, what it boils down to is he's a virus. And that's basically what this guy told me today. He says he's a parasite. And he's right. And basically, he said that I am the host. And he's basically bled me dry, for the most part. And he's basically looking for his next host, but he hasn't found one yet. And therefore, that's the reason why he's still where he is. He has no respect for me, which is obvious. And he's basically looking for someplace else. He's been looking for someplace else for a while now. He's contacted a few of my business associates, talked trash on me to them, trying to get them to take him onto their land. He's been talking to people in the community, trying to get them to take him on their land. Nobody wants him. So I'm stuck with him until he finds someplace else to go. Or so he thinks. Because I've basically given him notice. And I'm about to give him not quite his final notice, but his next to final notice. And he thinks I'm bullshitting. He thinks he's going to call my bluff. But he's basically going to force me to get a court order to get rid of him. And that's what it's boiling down to. He won't leave on his own. I'm trying to get him to leave on his own. And he wants to leave on his own, but nobody wants him. And he's not mature or responsible enough to stand on his own 2 feet. He's a parasite. He's looking for a host. Somebody who he can basically bleed dry. So here's David kissing ass, talking. So I blew up at him already about something. I can't remember because I don't have it documented here. So this is when he starts kissing ass. Where did I say something in here? Okay, it happened right before this. Something happened, and I don't remember what it was because I don't have documentation of it. But I went off. Okay. So this is where he starts kissing ass. April 18th. He goes, found Chip. Haven't spoke to him yet. Here's the information. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then he says, baby chicks hatched. 2 baby chicks hatched, which probably was a lie. There's no evidence of it. He never took pictures. When I got home, there was no baby chickens. So I think it was a lie. He's just basically bolstering himself up. Been noticing little lies. I always thought that maybe he just exaggerated the truth, but now I'm realizing he's just a pathological liar, and I don't know what's true and what's not true anymore. He gaslights, he does all kinds of crazy shit, and I just don't know what to believe anymore. You know, like this. And it's like one of the chickens is teaching the gray, no new chicks, a gray and white sitting on the nest. One of the chickens was teaching, a gray is teaching the chicks to scratch. There was no fucking chickens. Or no baby chickens, anyways. But like I said, I got there like the next day. There was no chickens, no baby chickens whatsoever. Strawberries, they weren't that great. He's making it out to be like there's a whole bunch of strawberries. There's one strawberry plant that survived, and that's it. He can't grow anything, which isn't that big of a deal because I can't really grow anything either. But, you know, he's trying to puff himself up. He's trying to make himself look like he's all that. Now he's checking on the shade trees, which he never checks on or never reports that he checks on anyways. Not that they need babysitting anyways, but, you know, he's just trying to make himself look good. So this is when I go off. I says, I think you need to start paying rent. Oh, wait, what day was this? This was in April. April 23rd. So I said, I think you need to start paying rent. You have money now. But God forbid I ever see any money from you. I've never seen any money from him to help me pay the bills or expenses while you work for other people. He's supposed to be working for me or for us with me, but he doesn't do shit. Hardly anything anyways. He does just the bare minimum. That's why I was calling him RDA for a little while. The recommended daily allowance is just barely enough to sustain life. Right? He doesn't really even do that. He just does the bare minimum. Right? So I say, you went to Bolivar yesterday with your girlfriend knowing the cats need cat food, but you didn't buy any, which actually I guess he did, but nonetheless. I had cat food, but he didn't know that. Like I said, I pay all the bills. I buy all the food. I pay all the medical expenses. He doesn't pay shit, and he doesn't do any work. And he's got this entitlement attitude as if I owe him and not the other way around. He acts like he's the boss and I need to do what he says. He acts like it's his way or the highway, and I am fed up with that shit. So anyways, blah, blah, blah. I'm fed up with you. Just a couple days pretending to care isn't going to make up for 9 years of mooching off of me, which is true. I'm pretty much just fed up with him at this point. Maybe you think you're trying, but you have dug yourself a huge hole to try and climb out of. It's going to take a lot of making up for. And then, of course, he wants to be an asshole and say, you don't seem to be a very good psychic, which he said something about that before. I don't have, that was on my other phone. It was between him and me direct. And I basically told him to fuck off. And then I says, I took the lock off the container so you don't have the excuse that you don't have a key, so blah, blah, blah. Which I found out tonight that he has no intentions of cleaning out the container. Now, I had given him notice prior to this. I gave him 60-day notice to clean out the container because it's been sitting in the mud for 7 years. And I've been bugging him to do something about it for at least the last 5 years, and he refuses. And I just found out today that he still refuses. He has no intentions, the person told me, he has no intentions to clean out my overseas storage container so that I can get it up out of the mud. He has a place to secure it. That person said he could secure the stuff there for free. But he has no intentions of moving it. Why? This is why. That person told him that he had to make sure that nothing that he put in that other person's storage facility had any mold on it, because he knows the condition of the situation, right? He says, you cannot put anything moldy in my storage facility. I'm trying not to be too specific because I'm trying not to name names. But anyways, so he said if it's got any mold on it, you got to do something else with it or burn it, whatever. It can't come to my place. I don't want any mold. And I'm willing to bet everything in that container is moldy because it's been sitting in the mud for 7 years and he refuses to do something about it, and I'm sick and tired of it. So I gave him 60 days prior to this date. He had like 50 days left at this point, give or take, right? So I found out tonight that he has no intentions whatsoever. He's got 3 weeks left before his deadline as of today. And today is the 25th of May. Okay, so his time's almost up. I gotta deal with that too. All right, so he has no intentions whatsoever to clean it out. Because this is another thing I heard through the grapevine. Apparently, he said to someone else, it's going to take him a year to go through his things and sort them. That's not my fucking problem. He should have started on that 5 years ago when I said something about it 5 years ago. He can rent a boat storage and he can take his shit to the boat storage for $150 a year and sort it there. It's not my motherfucking problem. Right? Right. He's had 60 days and he refuses to do something about it. He's had 5 years and he refuses to do something about it. Not my motherfucking problem. All right. So, moving on. Yes, if I were psychic, I would have never let him mooch off of me in the first place, and I'd have never brought him down here. So yes, I'm not psychic. Yeah, I now totally understand why his family wanted to get rid of him. Why his family kicked him off the family farm. Because of the same problems I'm having with him now. He's a fucking parasite. I thought he was cool. At one time, we were like best buds. We were like best friends. We were so tight that people thought we were boyfriend and boyfriend. They thought we were lovers. That's how close we were. We were tight. And he was playing me the whole time. He's fucking Judas. He's a backstabbing, parasitic son of a bitch. Or son of a bastard. I don't know. Because he is a bastard child. So, anyways, I guess his mom was actually pretty cool. And apparently his stepdad was pretty cool too. But he demonized his stepdad so people would feel sorry for him. Just like he's demonizing me so people will feel sorry for him. But most people aren't buying it. Then he goes, oh, please don't leave my container unlocked. It's actually not his container. It's my container. But he's using it. right? He's been using it for free for almost 10 years. And he has no respect for me. He doesn't want to compensate me for any of my losses. He's a fucking parasite. And then, of course, I say, you don't care about me or my property. Why should I care about yours? Yeah, my container, the wood floor in my container is probably rotten right now because of the situation. But does he care? No, fuck Kano. Kano ain't shit. I only care about myself. Even though all my stuff is probably rotten. Just like Kano's container's probably rotten. You know? The roof leaked. I had to go up and fix it last year because he refused to fix it. Because he don't give a shit. It's not his. But all of his stuff's in there. But I don't know what this fucking problem is. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Obviously, can you tell I'm pissed? I'm fucking pissed. All right. So, this is your last and final chance. You can either follow through with what you say you will do and what needs to be done around here, or you can pay rent, or you can leave. I'm done. Your free ride is over. He thinks I'm bullshitting. This was in April, right? We're now 1 month later, all right? The Nigerians are out, blah, 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 as usual, because he doesn't fix the fence. I gotta fucking do it when I come home. He doesn't do shit. And there's another hole. If you look in the last video I made, there's another hole in the fence that they made. And I'm willing to bet when I get home in a couple days, what's today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. When I get home Friday, I'm willing to bet he did not fix that fence. I will be surprised as shit if he fixed the fence. But I'm willing to bet, I'm willing to put money on it that he did not fix the fence. We have a large white possum with black feet. Not that that matters, but that probably is a lie. And then here he's photoing a fish, which nobody cares. He's planting potatoes, but it's not like he's planting them to sell and make money and help me pay the bills. Those are for his own selfish needs. He doesn't help me do anything. All he cares about is himself. It's just like those blackberries. He planted the blackberries. He spent some money on the blackberries. He spent some time on the blackberries. He planted them, but then he didn't like them, so he just let them go feral. Instead of cultivating them so we can sell them to make some money, he's like, fuck it. I don't like them, so who cares? I'm just going to let them go wild. Who cares about what I want? Who cares that I like them? That's not important. Who cares that we can make money off of them and help Kano pay the bills? Nah, fuck that. David Ray don't like them, or Judas. I should start calling him Judas now. Judas don't like them, so they're worthless. I'm just going to let them go feral. Then, last year, Cindy and I go and clean up the blackberry patch. I go in and reorganize it because he even admitted that the way he did it was wrong and it's not going to work and it needs to be done differently. So I went in and did the work to fix his mistake. Then I went and got more blackberries to plant in there so we can cultivate it and sell them and make some money. And then he complains that I planted my blackberries in with his blackberries that he previously didn't give a shit about. And now he wants to cry about it. It's like, fuck you, fucking jerk. Like that thing at Spencer's. Fucking jerk, fucking jerk, fucking jerk. Fuck, eat shit, fuck you. You're an asshole, you're an asshole. Eat shit, fuck you, fuck you. Fucking jerk, eat shit, fuck you. You're an asshole, eat shit, fuck you. My mom loves that recording. Anyways. I programmed it as David's ringtone now. But anyways. double check the box truck for the cat, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay, so I went in and cleaned out his camper, right? The camper that he worked for trade to bring to the land. I stayed in it for a little while. It was the kitchen camper. Then David or Xavier and Sarah stayed and Chip stayed in it for a while. They trashed it, right? You know. So I go in and clean it up because David, oh, forbid. David's there 7 days a week, but God forbid David go in and clean it up. No, I go in and clean it up. And then I move all the stuff to the box truck. And so I saw Mimi and another cat in there, and I was afraid that I locked them in there. So I had David check. But David hasn't touched that kitchen camper. I did. I went in and cleaned it up. It's still not done. It needs more work. But David hasn't touched it because he's a lazy ass. I got to come home and do all the fucking work. Right? All David does is take care of David. He don't care about nobody else. Dead chicken. Okay. This is April 28th. Dead chicken somehow managed to hang itself. Now, we had this happen last year, right? So I already knew what happened. And part of this is Sarah's fault because she didn't listen to me. I said the pallets need to be done upright where the 2x4s are going up and down. That's the way everybody does it. It's like standard in the industry, right? If you're going to build something with pallets, you do it that way. Her and David thought, oh no, everybody in the world's doing it wrong. We know how to do it the right way. This is the right way. So they did it sideways, right? And I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. I don't care. I can work with it, right? And I made it work. And it works. However, the pallet boards, the top pieces were, the boxes or whatever's on the pallet, whenever you're loading a pallet onto, say, a truck or whatever. Those pallets, instead of going sideways, they're going up and down. So there was grain inside the pallet boards, and the chicken jumped up there to get some grain. Oh, I forgot to do post-root. Chicken jumped up there to get some grain, got its head stuck between the pallet boards, and basically hung itself. Now, we could have prevented that, but I've been harping on David to do the Foamcrete because he owns the Foamcrete machine, and he's always talking about doing Foamcrete. Foamcrete this, Foamcrete that, Foamcrete this, Foamcrete that. Has he ever used it? No. He's used it once. We took it out to Lebanon back in 2019. He used it for a demonstration with Yiska and Judah, and that was it. He's never used it before. He's never used it since. We've never made anything with Foamcrete. But David hypes about, oh, we need to do all this Foamcrete stuff. I got this Foamcrete machine. We need to do Foamcrete. But has he done anything with it? No. All right. So I thought it would make great insulation for the chicken coop, right? So we got the walls up. Everything's ready for the Foamcrete. I asked him to do it. It's not complicated. I'm willing to pay for it. Blah, blah, blah. It's easy, right? But it's his machine. So he refuses to do something about it. So yet another chicken basically hangs itself because David refuses to do anything. But he goes around telling everybody he does all these things, and I'm the problem, right? So there you go. Apparently, I'm more psychic than he gives me credit for. All right, April 30th. Welcome to Lake D&D. I need a raft today. Gray hen appears to be fully broody, sitting on the middle of the nest. One, nobody really cares. I mean, we're pretty much just ignoring him at this point. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Was this a weekend? Yeah, okay. I was home. And then my mom and Garrett was down, and he's like, Rhonda, if I'd have known you was here with Garrett, I would have saved a couple strawberries. Yeah, off of one plant. There's not very many strawberries. He's basically hyping himself up again. Taking care of the animals. Yeah, probably not. If so, barely. Yeah, see, we're just pretty much ignoring him at this point. None of us, and Cindy's even in this group, as you can see. She doesn't really care for him anymore either. He's basically backstabbed her. He's, backstabbed me. He's, I think he's even backstabbed my mom. So, yeah. Nobody really likes him. But he has this like God complex. He thinks he's like, or savior complex. He thinks he's God's gift to the world or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty much him talking. I did send this message. Thank goodness it's raining. My mud was getting dehydrated. Okay, yeah, that's when I changed it to Judas. Was May 6th. So, May 6th, I tell him, says, okay. This one I gave him a 60-day notice for the greenhouse. I said, you need to move your things out of the greenhouse. The greenhouse needs to be for growing food, not for storage or housing. It's time for you to move back into your camper. You have 60 days. Unless you want to rent that space, it will be $1,800 a year paid in advance. Because that's basically what I could get paid by someone else to rent out the greenhouse. So I'm like, you know what? I could be, somebody else could be helping me pay my bills. So if you're not willing to help me pay my bills, you can get the fuck out. Also, I hope you're working on, this one we had a fight. Hope you're working on cleaning your stuff out of my overseas storage container so I can get it up out of the mud. You have 45 days left. Rumor has it you've already secured a storage place, so it's time to get moving, which he has. And that, at first, that person said they were going to charge him $25 a month or every other month. They were kind of wishy-washy on it. Now I find out they're not going to charge him anything at all. They're basically going to give him a free ride. But he didn't like the stipulations because all of his shit's moldy. And he's like, fuck, I'm fucked. So he's just going to basically try to call my bluff and try to bully me and or strong arm me or whatever you call it. And basically just ignore my request. He thinks I'm gonna fold. Well, he's got another thing coming. Also, you need to clean up the pigsty. Either way, it's time, or I'm tired of the place looking trashy. Yeah, he lives like a troglodyte. He loves to live in filth. What are the 7 deadly sins? Slothfulness. That's one of his problems. He lives in filth. and I can't stand it, right? I mean, I'm not perfectly spotless clean like my dad. My dad's like over the top OCD clean, you know? He's like the total opposite of slothfulness, you know? But, you know, I'm not that bad either, you know? But I just can't stand filth. It just drives me nuts. And I've been dealing with it for a while now, and it's just driving me mad. Right? So, anyways, you can no longer live in a greenhouse regardless. It's not a living quarters, it's a plant house. If you don't rent it, I plan to rent it out to someone else until I sell the property, which that's always an option. I'm actually not really planning on selling now that Sophie's coming up, but she kind of wants to look for another piece of property. I kind of want to look for another piece of property. I prefer to have a house on it. If we could find 2 properties side by side to have houses, that'd be heaven. But what's the chances of that happening? I don't know. So she may end up buying the 20 acres that I got scammed into 10 years ago. I own 10% of that. And we're looking at buying out all the other members. And she's going to pretty much take over that property. And I'll probably stay where I am. Meanwhile, we'll probably live at Kaplinger. We'll fix it up and live there while we're working on the properties, the other 2 properties. So that's the game plan, right? Okay, so blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm cleaning house. Then he says, would you be kind enough to move our trailer to the front of the land so that I might load it up? I'm like, our trailer? What are you talking about? And then he says, the one you said was ours you bought from George, which I said was bullshit because I never claimed it to be ours. He claimed it to be ours. I always claimed it to be mine. But, you know, he also claimed my pickup truck to be his. You know, it's like he's been riding around on my coattail all these years, claiming my stuff is his or ours, trying to pump himself up, making himself look and feel great, when really, and then browbeating me or degrading me to make me feel like or look like I'm a lesser than, and he's all great and almighty, you know, all wonderful. So he's been running around on my coattail, making himself look good while making me look bad. And really, he's the loser. And it's just taken me this long to really figure it out. So anyways. But yeah, he has his own trailer in the goat yard he can use. So he can kiss my butt. He puts a couple dollars into my trailer and wants to claim it as his. Fuck that. I've spent thousands of dollars on him. I spent a few $100s, if not more, on tree trimming equipment for him. I've replaced his chains. I've replaced his bars on his chainsaws because he's broke all the time. He doesn't help me pay any bills. He blows all of his money, yet I spend money on him to maintain his equipment so that he can be productive. And then he wants to claim my stuff as his or ours when he puts in maybe $100, right? I've spent probably hundreds times more than he has, and he wants to act all high and mighty. Only my word. That's bullshit. Okay. So anyways, again, he's putting words in my mouth. And then I said, bullshit, lies, why are you lying? And then I said, I have no problems with you using my trailer, but if you're going to lie, then you can just use your own. I have never claimed it to be ours. He claimed it to be ours. In fact, I remember one time I was talking to my mom. We were talking to my mom and Ron, my mom's boyfriend. And I said something about it. I said something about my trailer, and he corrected me saying, "Our trailer." And I was like, "No, it's not our trailer. It's my trailer." So right then he was trying to claim it as ours, trying to force his opinion on me that it was our trailer because he put $100 into it. Right. So, yeah. Oh, so then I said, if you're going to make a big deal about the $100 you put into my trailer, then you need to pay me back for the $500 I put into your camper. That same camper I was just talking about that I cleaned out and it's still not done. But I put $500 worth of materials into it to make sure it didn't rot because the roof leaked, right? So I put $500 into it to make sure it was structurally sound. And he wants to claim my trailer because he put $100 into it. So I can claim his trailer because I put $500 into it. And that trailer is not even worth $500. Maybe I should claim that trailer as mine. Maybe I will. I'm like, oh no, you got to pay me back $500. You owe me before you can take that. Yeah, he's getting to be a lot like Jerry Diamond. Probably worse. Oh yeah, I had to run to town. So I'm being nice to him, and he's basically kissing my ass too while he stabs me in the back. I'm just documenting all the evidence, basically. Yeah, so I let 3 goats out, but then the rest got out. All right, May 12th, he visited Chip. And apparently Chip wanted me to call him. I called him like a half dozen times, and he's never available. And he's supposed to call me back, but he never did. Yeah, see, here I offered to move his stuff for him. All he had to do was load it. He didn't bother. Because the trailer was sitting out front, and I got video of it. He asked me to put it up front, and I put it exactly where he asked me to put it, and he just refused to load it. So he's just blowing smoke up my ass. Oh. Yeah, so he had plenty of time, but he just refused to do it. Okay. So this was about a week ago. I said, okay, Jerry Jr., you have 45 days to move your things out of the greenhouse. 45 days left. Again, the greenhouse needs to be for growing food, not for storing trash and junk and or housing. Yeah, because I had another associate come down a few months ago. Actually, no, I think it was last year. Anyways, I don't remember when it was. And he was going to invest, but then he backed out, and because he basically said, you literally have a bum living in your greenhouse full of trash and dead plants. And he was right. And I told him, says, yeah, I know. That's what I'm dealing with. I'm trying to do something different. I'm trying to go in a different direction. I'm kind of at my wit's end here. I need help. I need solution, because I just got this parasite draining me dry. and I just can't. He basically runs off all my help, but then he's basically running around telling everybody in the community that I'm the one running off the help. And in a way, I am, because of my negativity, because of all this bullshit. And so I'm trying not to be so negative so that I don't run off the help. But I got to get rid of this parasite so that I'm not negative, so that I don't run off the help, if that makes sense. But I also got to control my mouth, because I don't really have a very good filter between my brain and my mouth. And I mean, I do more so than, say, my brother does. But once I get fed up, I'm just like, fuck it, fuck this shit, motherfucking fucking fuck, you know? My brother will just come straight out and tell you to fuck off, like day 1 or 2, maybe 3 tops. Me, I may give it 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years, but eventually I'm just going to be like, fuck this shit, But, so my brother's better at nipping shit in the bud than I am. I'm too nice. That's my fucking problem. So anyways, and then when I get fed up, the shit hits the fan. So anyways, it says, again, the greenhouse needs to be for growing food, not for storing trash or junk and or housing. It's time for you to move back into your camper. You have 45 days left. It's not a people house or living quarters. It's a plant house. Also, I hope you're working on getting your stuff out of my overseas storage container so I can get it up out of the mud. You have less than 30 days left. It's been sitting in the mud for 7 years now. I'll be surprised if your stuff hasn't mold and rot. I've only been asking you to do something about it for 5 years now. So I'll put that in writing. It's in group text. I have public notice, witnesses, the whole 9 yards. So he's had public notice, and he still refuses to do something about it. I know you have already secured a storage facility, and Bill said he would haul it for you, so it's time to get moving. Your time limit is halfway up. And he's just dragging his ass. And like I said, I found out tonight he has no intentions whatsoever to do anything about it. He's basically just telling me to fuck off. So, I got news for him. Also, you need to clean up your pigsties. Yes, he's got multiple pigsties. He just throws shit everywhere. He doesn't fucking care. I'm tired of the place looking like trash. And you can no longer live up front because you like to live in filth. I don't need or want that to be in the public eye. People are tired of seeing your pigsty. Even your girlfriend, Sherry, has complained about it. She's not really his girlfriend, but that was a slap in the face. It was an insult. But hey, he's been backstabbing me for years. So fuck him. I don't give a fuck. Once I find a new property to move to, I'm selling this one. So you need to move yourself and all your stuff somewhere else, because when I sell, you and your stuff are not coming with me, which is a fact. Now, I may not sell, but if I do, that is a fact. Meanwhile, I'm cleaning house. Whatever I don't plan to take with me when I move, I'm either selling or burning, Dennis style. And I said that as an intimidation factor, which I fully intend to follow through with it. But, Dennis freaked him out. Dennis is his stepdad. And he freaked him out because, he basically did a burn pit. And he started throwing shit in there. Books. He didn't care. He'd throw everything. And he's like, we're not keeping it, we're burning it. you know, if I can't sell it, I'm burning it. He burned a lot of stuff. And I'm going to pretty much be doing the same thing. P.S. If / when Sophie comes up, she'll be in charge in my stead. You will report to her or my mom if I'm not around. You no longer have any command. You no longer have any authority whatsoever. Now, Sophie doesn't know the extent of all this crap that's been going on because I'm trying not to be too negative. Now, I'll read what I said to her the other day because, now that she's there, I bet you David's going to be talking trash to her about me as well. Let's see here. Sophie, the other day. The other day, I went to a concert with our friend Jamie, and Sophie was talking about coming up, and she wanted me to give her some projects, and I was like, coming up blank. I was like, projects. Let me think about it. And then I was talking about the shower that she sent me a picture of because I thought it was made out of foamcrete. She's aware of foamcrete. She wants to make things with foamcrete. I know where to buy a foamcrete machine. It'll cost me $500. I started looking into getting one because David refuses to use his, and he made a big deal about Terry Diamond using his without his permission. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to use it without his permission. He's going to have to use it, so he can't disparage me for using his shit without his permission. Right? Right. So, okay, she was talking about the shower thing. I said, sorry, was busy yesterday because yesterday was the concert. That was the 21st. This is the 22nd. I said, sorry, I was busy yesterday, but I was trying to come up with some ideas per your request, and I kept coming up blank. Forgive me. Oh, hang on, I gotta expand this. Forgive me, for I'm a bit at a loss right now. My mind has been focusing on plugging holes in my sinking ship. I'm heading back to Kansas City from St. Louis, then I'll be going home from there. So she says, oh, and then I said, oh. My mom just texted me. I'm going to try and get home at a decent hour. She goes, she goes, hey, so I'm just going to come Wednesday or Thursday instead. It's fine. So actually, she just got there tonight. And then she says, sinking ship, is everything okay? And I says, I'll walk around and come up with some projects. Fence work is the only thing that comes to mind, but you don't know where any of the tools and stuff are. Sinking ship, meaning David Ray and such. I came home to another almost dead goat Thursday. Spent all evening nursing it, but it still died. She's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, me too. She goes, I didn't know it was getting that bad when you said he isn't doing what he should be. I was like, yeah, I try not to complain too much, for it tends to turn people off and away. I don't want to run off potential help, which I have, complaining about this shit. And I don't know if they were actually potential help or not. They might have been worthless too. I don't know. But anyways, I said, I'm normally not a negative person, but lately I have been. The stress is overwhelming. I'm just trying to keep my eye on the light. And apparently her situation is not that great either. She goes, I feel it right now too. My heart is wrenching and I feel triggered. I'm wanting to be there now already. And then she asked if now was a good time to talk. And so that's when I called her and we talked on the phone. So she's there now. She's going to be working on getting her kids enrolled in school there for next year. So she's going to be working on that tomorrow. I need water. I'm starting to get hoarse. Of course. We haven't even got to the good stuff yet. We're already an hour in. Wow, that's going to be a 2-hour video. Okay, so here David starts kissing ass again, trying to make himself look good. Like, oh, you need me. Bullshit, I need you. I'm trying to replace you. Anyways, Prudy hand keeps moving. Silver, Bitcoin, whatever the fuck that is, prices. Cats are fed, chickens are out, rain expected around 5. I think I was home. That day. Yeah. I pretty much just ignored him. Guess this rain is going to stop. Oh, wait. Can I check what date this was? Friday. Okay, so wait a minute. I got home Thursday to find the dead goat. I mean, not dead goat, sick goat. So I spent all evening with the sick goat. The next morning, I was up at like 4 a.m. I went down to check on the goat to find it was dead. So after the fact, because yeah, I didn't take care of the chickens or the cats. I was taking care of the dead goat. David took care of the rest of the animals. And then Friday, then I took my spare truck to the mechanic so he can fix it. And David did help me with that. I guess he's just trying to kiss ass right now while stabbing me in the back. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. So I was at the concert, came home. Oh, yeah, we had, I guess Cleopatra or another goat had babies, or both. And so I came home to the one sick goat and one dead baby goat. David didn't even know we had babies. Didn't know we had a sick goat. Didn't know nothing because he never checks on them. So I informed him of the situation. He did help me try to nurse the goat back to health, but it died that night. We could have prevented that if he would have just checked on him and noticed there was a problem beforehand, but he don't give a fuck. So I have to come home to find the problems. Anyhow, so I leave for the weekend, come back Sunday afternoon, evening. I got home about 5 o'clock Sunday to find 2 more dead goats, 2 more dead baby goats. So only one baby goat survived. Apparently the mother was rejecting the babies. And so basically we would have had to bottle feed the babies in order to save their lives. But God forbid David ever bottle feed. He can't even check on them on a daily basis or even an every other day basis, let alone bottle feed. Fuck no, there's no way he can be expected to do that. I laughed myself into an early grave if somebody suggested he milk them. Anyways, yeah, that's a joke. Okay. So this is true and speculation. So this is leading me up to what I'm going to do next week. So I said, this weekend, my brother and I are going to the Lake of the Ozarks to bid on a couple tree jobs. Might be going back to tree trimming this summer with my brother. Of course, David just gives me a thumbs up. Now, that's true and partly true. So, I do got a tree job I got a bid on, and then my brother came up with another tree job that he wants me to bid on. So, Saturday, I'm taking care of some business in Stockton. Then Sunday, my brother and I are going to go bid on these tree jobs. And then Monday, I'm probably not going to do anything but just chill. Okay? So Saturday, I'll do what I need to do to make sure everything's kosher on the land. And then I probably won't be back till Monday sometime. And then I'll double check everything before before I go back to work on Tuesday. Then that week I'll have a short week because the following weekend I'm selling off some goats at the auction. So yeah. So this video is crazy. This entitled woman gets humbled. She doesn't really get humbled. She basically makes $400,000 a year. Her ex-husband or boyfriend makes $40,000 a year. The guy had custody of the child for 3 years, but he's been paying her child support for 3 years. And now she's taking him back to court because she wants more money when she doesn't even have custody of the kid. But at the very end of the video, it came out that the reason she took him back to court for more money is because he just recently started dating her sister, and she's pissed off and wants him to pay her child support for the child that she doesn't even have in her own custody. She wants him to pay more child support, and she makes more money than he does, which is fucked up. And the judge let her have it. But anyways, so I'll come back to this Facebook video here in a second. That's going to be my finale. So David basically has no intentions of cleaning out the overseas storage container. I got confirmation of that tonight through the grapevine. He has a place to store it, but he has to make sure none of his stuff is moldy in order to store it there, and everything in that container is guaranteed to be moldy. And he said it would take a year to go through it. And to this other person, and therefore he has no intentions of complying to my wishes. Now, he can go get a boat storage for $150 a year, take his crap there, sort it there, and then he can move it to the other place that he gets to rent it for free after he's done sorting it. Then he'll have a whole year to go to the boat storage and go through his crap. He ain't gonna go through his crap. Not unless I make him do it. And the only way I can make him do it is to get the law involved, because he's not going to listen to me. He's going to try to bully me and strong arm me, and it's just going to be a fighting match. So basically what it boils down to is he's going to force me to go to court and get a court order to get his shit out of my container. And that's basically what's going to happen. So this is my agenda. 30-day notice. Next Wednesday, calendar. Today's the 25th. Next Wednesday is the 1st. Next Wednesday, I'm going to send this text message. Okay. You have 30 days left to move yourself and your things out of the greenhouse. I'm giving him public notice and plenty of time. No one would give him 60 days, let alone the 90 days he's actually really gotten. And then he's going to get an extended 30-day notice because I'm going to have to go get a court order to have him removed. So that's going to give him another 30 days. So he'll have a total of 120 days to get the fuck out. And he's going to make me out to be the bad guy. But I've been trying to be patient with him, but at the same time trying to be stern. And he's just basically telling me to fuck off. So I'm going to have to go get a court order. So after his 30 days are up, if he hasn't done what I request, I'm going to go to the courts. I'm going to get a court order, and I'm going to get him out of there. I'm done with him. So I says, you have 30 days. Again, the greenhouse needs to be for growing food, not for storing trash, junk, and or housing. It's time for you to move back into your camper. You have 30 days left. It's not a people house or living quarters. It's a plant house. Also, rent will be due in 30 days. Your free ride is over. $400 a month, just like everyone else. Yeah, Sophie's paying me $400. Actually, she's paying me $800. First and last month's rent. And then she's going to work off the rest of it. And if I feel she does a good enough job, then she won't pay rent. And if she doesn't, then she pays rent. But she's going to be more like a business partner anyway. And she has 3 mouths to feed. So I think she's going to follow through. She's more of an action-oriented person probably than I am. So I think she's going to be a valuable asset. So, $400 a month, just like everyone else. If Sophie, my mom, and I agree that your quality of work deserves reduced rent, we will inform you of such. Till then, I need first and last month's rent in 30 days, or you need to relocate yourself and the rest of your belongings. Plus, you have to provide goat food from now on since I've been the only one buying it for the past 7 years, and you are going around telling everyone that the feed I buy is crap. Since you think you can do better, you can buy the feed from now on. Yeah, he goes around telling everybody that that the feed that I buy is shit. It has no nutritional value whatsoever. It's just crap. And he's trying to make it look like that is the reason the goats are getting sick and dying, and it's all my fault. Which I've already showed videos of that. I buy just as good a quality feed as anybody else. With the exception of this last time, I did buy 1 bag of crap that I thought would be good, fiber for them. But they don't like it. They don't touch it. So I'll never buy it again. So I made one mistake on 1 bag, 1 time. But he's making it out to where I do it all the time. But anyways. So I was like, fine, fuck it. You can buy the food from now on. I don't give a shit. And the food I do buy, I'm going to have it locked up. So Sophie can feed certain goats, and I can feed certain goats. My mom can feed certain goats because we'll have the key, but David won't have access to it. David won't even know that I got the food, hopefully. But David's going to be gone in 60 days because he ain't going to come up with no rent. He ain't going to buy no goat food because he don't give a shit. He's a leech. David only cares about David. I mean, Judas. Anyways. You don't hardly do anything I ask you to do. You think you only have to do 1 hour's worth of work daily, and you hardly do that. You hardly do anything on the land at all. You don't do what I need you to do. You haven't been following through with your end of our agreement, so you can pay rent or you can leave. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like he claims that he only needs to do 1 hour's worth of work on the land to earn his stay. But his 1 hour's worth of work takes him 7 hours to do. And he does it half-assed, right? So it's like, I can get done in 1 day what it takes him a week to do. He does the bare minimum to just barely sustain life. He doesn't fulfill his obligations or his responsibilities. He doesn't follow through with his end of our agreement. Our agreement was, I work to pay the bills. He has all this knowledge, experience, this wisdom. He's got the brute strength. He's got all these capabilities. He's got the capabilities of doing all these great things, yet he refuses. And it's like, that's where my other friend was talking about how he has me brainwashed, because it's like, I think he has the capability of being even greater than me. He's super, super, super duper smart. He retains knowledge like you would not believe. He's like a walking encyclopedia. He's super strong. I mean, he's stronger than I am. He's strong as like a baby ox. So he's like super smart. He's super strong. He's super capable, but he don't do shit. If he just applied himself, he could do great things. And that's the only reason why I've been hanging on, because I've been trying to figure out different ways to motivate his lazy ass. And I'm just sick and tired. I can't do it anymore because I realize he's never going to do anything. He's never going to accomplish anything because he refuses to. He just doesn't want to. He wants to live in filth and be a troglodyte and a parasite for the rest of his life. And I'm sorry, I just can't do it anymore. I just can't do it anymore. I'm done. It's been 9 years. I just can't do it anymore. I hope you're working on cleaning your stuff out of my overseas storage container so I can get it up out of the mud. I keep emphasizing that. You have less than 15 days left. It's been sitting in the mud for over 7 years now. I'd be surprised if your stuff didn't mold and rot. I've only been asking you to do something about it for 5 years now. And he still continues to refuse to do anything about it. He'll just let my shit rot along with his shit. It's like he's going to make me suffer along with him making his own self suffer. I don't get it. I know you have already secured a storage facility, and Bill said he would haul it for you. So it's time to get moving. If you don't have it moved, I'm moving it into the field. Wait, I need to fix that. If you don't have it moved by the deadline. I'm moving it into the field. I'm tired of waiting for you to get your head out of your ash. I did that on purpose. That's not a typo. That came from the TV show The Good Place. If you want to continue using it after I get it up out of the mud, it will be $60 a month. You can no longer use it for free and continue to disrespect and disregard me or my property. Also, you need to clean up your pigsty. I'm going to reiterate that. I'm tired of the place looking like trash. You can no longer live up front because you like to live in filth. And I don't need or want that to be in the public eye. People are tired of seeing your pigsty. Even your girlfriend complains about it. She's not really his girlfriend, but she might as well be. She's just like him. She's basically mooching off of Bill and Shirley, just like David's mooching off of me. She's probably, they're basically going to and are having the same problem as I am with Judas, with her. Meanwhile, you can rent the greenhouse if you like. I've already given you the price, but I'm done letting you mooch off of me. You have to pay rent or you can leave. Those are your options. Your free ride is over. I'm cleaning house. Whatever I don't plan to take with me when I move, I'm either selling or burning, Dennis style. Again, when Sophie comes up, she will be in charge in my stead. You will report to her or my mother if I'm not around. Also, my brother is talking about coming down now too, so he will be fourth in command. If he does, you will report to him as well. Now, that is mostly just a scare tactic. I don't think my brother's coming down. However, if I do get off the road and I do go back to tree trimming with my brother, then my brother will be down there more. And my brother will basically tell him where to go and how to get there. So, my brother's not afraid of nobody, for the most part. Anyways, my brother's got bigger balls than I do. I'm too nice. So, anyhow. You no longer have any command. You no longer have any authority whatsoever. I've been too nice and too lazy. That's not the right word. What was the word I was going for? Lax. I've been too lax. Good thing I didn't send it like that. Too lazy. You no longer have any command. You no longer have any authority whatsoever. I've been too nice and too lax, and you've basically just been taking advantage of me. From now on, we are running a tighter ship, so you can shape up or ship out. So that's what I'm sending next Wednesday. So I'm telegraphing there. But anyways, we'll come back to this. This is a shocker. Now, this woman, she was on the land 2019. She was on the land three times. I don't remember when the first time was. But I done the math, and it was after this video had taken place. This video took place sometime around 2012, 2013, basically 10 years ago, give or take. I don't know exactly when. I haven't tracked down when exactly the video happened. But it was before we met her. David met her around 2014-ish. So David met her about the time that this video took place, or right after. This is my grand finale. This is fucked up. Anyways, so she had a crush on David. But David didn't want nothing to do with her because he wants a younger woman because he wants to have more children. David's like 60 years old almost, and he's a troglodyte that likes to live in filth, and he thinks he's going to find a young woman in her prime to bear him children, which is totally ridiculous. I mean, he has nothing to show for himself. He rides on my coattail, and he's looking for somebody else to leech off of so he can ride on their coattail. And he thinks he's going to find a young, viable woman to bear him more children. Dude's fucked up. But anyways, that's another whole another topic. Anyway, so this woman, she meets Judas, around 2014, maybe 2015. I can't remember. Anyways, I talked to her for a little bit, but she's after David. He just puts her in the friend zone. I mean, she was probably the best he could get, to be honest. But, she's cuckoo, and not for Cocoa Puffs. So, a few years later, she contacts us. She's getting kicked out of her mobile home. I don't remember the details. So we go. She secured this camper. We go and pack her up and move her to our land. I didn't realize how crazy this woman was at the time, right? Okay. I thought she was decent. I didn't know her that well. So we move her to our place. She's living in her camper. She grows a little bit of food. She doesn't really do much. But she wasn't really a big problem yet, right? But her and David, they start having problems. So she leaves. Judas. I keep calling him David. I need to start calling him Judas. Anyways, so she leaves and goes to a campground. But then that campground doesn't work out. So she calls me to come rescue her. So I go hook to her camper to bring her back to the land. And she's there for a little while. And I don't remember if Sarah and Xavier had come to the land yet or not. But then she leaves again because she meets our friend Deb, and she goes over. She talks Deb into letting her put her camper over at her place. And which I thought was a shocker, but they seem to get along pretty good at the time. Their Mercuries are compatible. But anyways, not long after that, they have a falling out. So I got to go back and rescue her again, bring her back to my land. That time I know for sure. Xavier was there, Sarah was there, Dawn was there, Chip was there, David was there, and myself, and then Elizabeth. So Elizabeth's going around causing problems. Finally, and she's telling me that she's finding all these like little baggies all over the property, like crack, like everybody's doing crack there. Oh, I'm seeing these little baggies. I'm like, where's the evidence? She gave me no evidence. It was just hearsay. And so it's like she's accusing the people on the land of doing crack on my property. And she's like, oh, you got to watch yourself. They're going to get you in trouble. Really, she was just fucking nuts. But anyways, I finally got rid of her. I bought her camper off of her. Later, Sarah ended up buying it off of me. So I made all my money back on that. And, but I got rid of her, right? Then she ended up in Lebanon, which is a whole nother subject, but we went out there. That's a property or a community I was going to join because mine was failing. I was like, fuck this, I'm done. This was in 2019. I went out to Lebanon. I was going to join their community and sell my property. But they were just as fucked up, or not more fucked up. So I bailed, and I took 2 people with me, Xavier and Sarah, and they didn't really turn out that great either. But I brought them back to our land. We had like 6 people there. Let's see, Sarah, Xavier, Chip, Dawn, Elizabeth, David, and myself. That's 7 people. I actually felt like we had something, you know. We were all kind of, you know, everybody was a different kind of fucked up, but, you know, we had 7 people, and I thought, all right, you know, we got an opportunity to make things happen, and we actually started doing stuff. It was the one time we actually started doing stuff, and I felt like, all right, we're moving forward. But it didn't last, just a few months, and then it just started going downhill. So it was just another nightmare, but it was a temporary reprieve, you know. It felt like we were actually doing something for a change. So it gave me that little bit of hope that I had lost, you know. But anyhow, so last year, this Elizabeth chick ended up in Lebanon, which I was shocked. And then that's about when that whole thing fell apart, and it just kind of like fizzled out. Yiska came from Lebanon too, but she's not part of my community. She's somewhere else. She's about an hour away. But we stay in touch, right? Well, Yiska sent me this message today. She stumbled across it, I guess, or somebody gave it to her. So she sent it to me. So we're going to play it. Here we go.
Spent 5 years in prison for failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan.
That's right.
Now, and what are you feeling in this moment?
I feel like I have never, ever deserved disrespect. I was not the woman that showed up at your doorstep every 2 months. You're going to be my baby's daddy. I have never disrespected you. I let you be and live your life and live your selfish life you've lived for the last 20 years.
Ran 2 tests. The results are as follows. In the case of...
Now, I met this kid once, maybe twice. He was like 30 or almost 30 by then. So this, like I said, this happened before I met him. I never met this guy, but I met this Dylan kid. And of course, that is Elizabeth in the video. I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, that looks like Elizabeth. And then when she started talking, I was like, that sounds like Elizabeth. And then when the judge said her last name, Sawyer, or whatever, however you pronounce that, I was like, motherfuck, that's Elizabeth. Holy shit. So I was like, whoa. Okay, here we go.
Last 20 years.
Ran 2...
I was not the woman that showed up at your...
support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan.
That's right.
Now, and what are you feeling in this moment?
I feel like I have never, ever deserved disrespect. I was not the woman that showed up at your doorstep every 2 months. You're going to be my baby's daddy. I have never disrespected you. I let you be and live your life and live your selfish life you've lived for the last 20 years.
Ran 2 tests. The results are as follows. In the case of Manser versus Sear. As it pertains to 20-year-old Dylan Sear. Mr. Manser, you are not his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison.
You can see the look of shock on the kid's face. He's like, wait, what? I thought he was my dad. 20 years he thought this was his dad. And he's like shocked. Both of them, I think, are shocked. But anyway.
Sear. As it pertains to 20-year-old Dylan Sear. Mr. Manser, you are not his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison. Oh, my God. She should be convicted of some crime.
I should not. I didn't.
That is fraud.
Mr. Manser,
That is
I
fraud.
know you're upset.
That's
Do you
perjury.
want to find out who your father is?
Of course.
Miss Sear, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You know who his father is.
Yes, I talk to him still.
Listen,
Get away from my son.
he apologized.
Right. She's like, get away from my son. He thought it was his son for 20 years. He thought that was his father for 20 years. She sent an innocent man to prison knowing he was not the father. She's still in communication with the true father. That's fucked up. I knew she was fucked up, but I didn't know she was that fucked up.
Father
Of
is.
course.
Miss Sear, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You know who his father is.
Yes, I talk to him still.
Listen,
Get away from my son.
he apologized.
And under another breath, he's calling me a liar.
You cannot stand there and really suggest that you cannot comprehend why this man would not have any type of ill feeling, frustration, or regret as it relates to anything involving you. 5 years in prison. And then I say, do you know who your son's father is? And you say, yes, I'm still in touch with him. That is a really huge pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I can't even believe... that's just insane. Now, the other guy may not even know he's the father. But, yeah. So I said David Ray. Judas dodged that bullet. But anyways. I guess that's my finale, but it looks like in 30 days, or in 37 days to be exact, I'm going to have to basically go to court and get a court order to get rid of David because, Judas. Because, he's basically leaving me no choice. So, I'm going to put this on my YouTube tonight. My brother probably won't even watch all of it because it's freaking like an hour and a half long, but fuck. I don't know. Anyways, I'm at my wit's end, but yeah, it's pretty much to the point. I'm just going to have to get the law involved because I just can't deal with this anymore. And another one of my friends told me not to have him there when Sophie comes up because he's going to poison her with all of his bullshit. He's going around. She's like, he's toxic. You know, he's going around poisoning everybody with crap about me in the community. He's going around trying to basically poison everybody's head with his bullshit about me and how horrible I am. And basically, he's trying to, what it boils down to is he's trying to play the victim card so somebody will feel sorry for him and they will take him on so he can basically leech off of them instead. And when that doesn't work out, he's going to try and come crying back to me, and I'm going to tell him to fork off, mother forker. But anyways, I already know where he's going to end up. He's going to end up at Bill and Shirley's, which nobody wants him to end up at Bill and Shirley's. But Bill has already admitted that he will probably take him out of pity. And I pity Bill for having to take on Judas, but I can't do it anymore. And if Bill knows the problem, Bill doesn't, and Bill even told me like a month ago, he says, I don't envy your situation. But yet he's willing to take him on. You know? And I even said, you know, I'm willing to put up with the laziness, right? I'd rather have somebody on the land that is trustworthy, who's not going to rob me, who's not going to stab me in the back, but is lazy. You know, I've understood that he's been lazy for a while now. But I was resorting to the fact that I'm not there very often, you know? And I'd rather have somebody lazy on the land than somebody who's going to stab me in the back and rob me. But lately, he's been stabbing me in the back and he's been sabotaging me, costing me money, letting my animals die. And it's like he knows there's a problem and he refuses to do something about it, which is practically like murder. Like in March, when I came home to 4 sick goats and 3 dead goats and 2 missing goats, he didn't even know the goats were missing. He didn't know the goats were dead. He didn't know the goats were sick. I had asked him that more. I had asked him after I noticed the problem or started noticing the problem. I didn't really know how bad it was. You can go back to my videos back in March 4th, I think it was, and see the video that I put together of what happened. It was horrible. But I asked him point blank, when did you last check on the goats? He goes, oh, I checked on them this morning. They were fine. Nobody was out. 3 hours before I got home, he claims he checked on them. Within 3 hours, supposedly, they were okay, right? 3 hours later, I got 4 sick goats, 3 dead goats, and 2 missing goats. How did that happen in 3 hours? 4 tops, right? Give him the benefit of the doubt. 4 hours tops. How could that happen if he had checked on them that morning? But he didn't check on them that morning. He lied, right? He don't check on them. He don't care. So here I had this problem. They had pink eye. I had to give them injections. I had to spray shit in their eyes. I had to give them other medicine. I spent all day taking care of the goats. I pretty much spent the whole weekend. In fact, I took an extra day off, costing me money from my job to give them their second injection, because you got to give it to them 3 days later as well. So I took an extra day off to make sure the goats had their medicine, and he can't even bother to check on them while I'm gone, right? So then, after the fact, he tried to blame me for that. and said that one of the Kikos, and he's named it specifically, number 16. I call her Sweet 16 because her tag on her ear is number 16. Somebody labeled her before I got her. He said number 16 came to the property with conjunctivitis, which apparently that's the same thing as pink eye, right? So he knew that there was a problem before I did, and he refused to do something about it. He refused to notify me about it. If he knew there were dead goats, he refused to do something about that. He just walked on by like it wasn't his problem. If he knew there was a problem and he refused to do something about it, he neglected his responsibilities. He neglected the animals. That's pretty much the same thing as murder. So as far as I'm concerned, he killed them goats. Now, I noticed something was wrong the weekend before, but I didn't really know something was wrong. I knew they had like eye boogers, the weather specifically. I noticed that the weather had like eye boogers and he didn't look right, but I didn't think anything of it because I didn't know any better. David's the one who's the goat expert, right? I'm learning, but I didn't know. Now I do. Not that that's any excuse for me. I should have looked into it, but I didn't look into it because I didn't think it was a problem. David claimed that, Judas claimed that he knew number 16 had conjunctivitis when it got to the property, yet he said and did nothing. As far as I'm concerned, that's neglect. That's murder. He neglected him. He let him get sick. He let him die. He didn't give a fuck. And let me come home to a catastrophe. And then acted like it wasn't his problem. And then acted like it was my fault. And then goes around telling everybody that I'm the problem because I don't listen to him. He don't tell me shit till after it's already fucked up. It's just like, okay, he talks about how we should do things around the land because he read this and he read that and da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll finance it. You get it done. When I come home, I'll help, right? That was our agreement whenever we first started this project. He's got all this smarts, right? And I got the money. I make $1,000 a week. So here I am financing the operation. Here he is. He's got the strength. He's got the knowledge. He's got the wisdom. He supposedly has the experience. Obviously, maybe not. Does he do anything? Hell no. So I come home. Nothing's done. So then I start to do the things that he claims we should be doing or whatever. I try to utilize what he knows with what I know. And I try to make it happen, right? And then he comes behind me and proceeds to tell me how I did it wrong. How I fucked up. It's like, motherfucker, you're the one who's supposed to be doing it in the first place. So fuck off, right? No, I'm the fuck up. I'm the one who did it wrong. I'm the one who's not listening to him. If I would listen to him, I could save a whole bunch more money. Right. While he's letting my goats die, while he's not fulfilling his end of the agreement, while he's not taking care of his responsibilities, he's trying to save me money. Now I got to go pay somebody else to come and do the work that he's been talking about doing for the last 7 years. And he's trying to save me money. He can go fuck off. So I'm done with his fucking ass. He's got 60 days basically. Because he's got 30 days to come up with first and last month's rent. He's got 15 days to get his shit out of my container, to get his shit out of my greenhouse. And if he ain't got his rent in 30 days, I'm going to get a court order to get his fucking ass out of there. And he'll have 30 more days to get the fuck out. And I'll have the sheriff remove his motherfucking ass. Because I'm sick and tired of his parasitic motherfucking Son of a bitch. Piece of shit ass. So that's all I got to say about that. Judas can fuck off.